What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. We're going to look into the last 24 hours of Tottenham news, looking ahead to the summer business. Jack Pickbrook does say that Spurs are looking for a midfielder, striker, winger and backup right back this summer, but he doesn't say anything about a number 6. Well, he says midfielder, I guess.
Yeah, midfielder. I mean, number 6 is a midfielder, isn't it?
It's true, I guess it is, yeah.
And I think that's probably what's in order. We know that. I'm glad that he's mentioned a winger, because the last update we heard from... I think Tom Walnut didn't mention the winger, and that's definitely for me one of my priorities. I think we have big problems on the wing at the moment.
I've always rated Jack Pickbrook as a journalist, always.
Of course, yeah, he's always been top notch. In terms of defender, it's interesting. He mentioned backup right back, but didn't mention left back. So, but look, I guess these guys are all just... He says defender. Does he mean 2 defenders? You know what I mean? He didn't say we're not getting 2 defenders. He just says we need a defender, midfielder. I mean, he's basically saying we need all positions, essentially.
Basically.
And so whoever we sign, he can claim to be right. So
Which definitely plays into the video that we did yesterday.
Exactly. We definitely... Look, we need a lot of business done. We know that. So I'm glad that we're hearing noises that Spurs are going to be busy this window. We've just got to get that business done.
Well, that does bring us on to our next topic. As you can see on screen, Alex Crook says that Tottenham are considering re-signing Southampton defender Kyle Walker-Peters 4 years after we sold him in that deal for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. What was the deal, actually, in terms of the finances?
I think we spent...
Was it like 12 million or 15 million?
And they spent 12 on Walker-Peters.
Right.
Like that. Something to that effect.
So it was like a swap plus 3 million or something like that.
I believe.
But in terms of Kyle Walker-Peters, I think we were speaking on the video yesterday when the news broke while we were doing the video, and you were quite positive about this deal.
I'm not massively against it. I don't think it's this deal is like he's gonna win us the league or anything, but I don't think he's this terrible championship level player that a lot of people portray him to be. I think he would be homegrown. He can provide cover on both wings. He's quite a good offensive fullback. I do think there's some question marks about him defensively. I think he's maybe not the best. Obviously, he's been at Southampton for quite a few years now, and obviously he's part of the team that got relegated. He is going to be probably in Championship Team of the Year. He's had a fantastic year in the Championship.
I think he was. I think at left back.
Yeah, at left back. So he's had a fantastic year in the Championship. But I've always been impressed with him in the Premier League for Southampton, in my opinion. I'm not sitting here saying he's definitely of the level that we need. I'm just there saying that I think a lot of people use him as a bit of a figure of fun, and when we're linked with him, think he's like a terrible player. I don't think he's that. I think he's a good Premier League level player, and I can see value in it. But I don't know if it's the right deal we should be doing, but I can understand the logic behind it.
I think it's just a classic deal that just ticks boxes. I don't think it's a deal that we do to improve the kind of ability of the squad. I just feel like the deals
I think it does improve the ability of the squad.
I mean, there's so many other deals out there that we can do that improves the ability a lot more than a Kyle Walker-Peters, and I think that's what we should be aiming for. I feel like going for Kyle Walker-Peters is just very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. I know he ticks boxes in the case he can play right back and can play left back, homegrown, club grown as well, English, he ticks those kind of boxes. But when you're looking to take the squad onto the next level, when you're looking to when Udogie and Porro get injured and the quality not to decrease as much as we want it to, like it does now, I don't think this is one that we should be pursuing. I think we should be pursuing a lot better targets than Kyle Walker-Peters.
I think he's more suited to Ange Ball than Davis and Emerson, in my opinion.
Yeah, that might be true, but we need to improve massively on them, not just to get Kyle Walker-Peters in. I don't think it's a massive improvement. I think it's fair in terms of profile. I think it's a significant improvement in terms of what he offers on the ball compared to Davis and Emerson. It's going for Kyle Walker-Peters though. If you're happy with the Kyle Walker-Peters signing, isn't that just being happy and settling for mediocrity? Because he's not going to be a top player. He's 27 years of age now. He's not even a young player anymore. And he's coming here to tick boxes. He's not coming here to improve the quality of the squad. And whenever Udogie and Porro get injured, we'll be sitting here thinking, oh, we got Kyle Walker's here to play now.
I don't know. I don't know if he's at that level where I'm thinking he's definitely going to be a liability if we bring him in. I think he's better than that, in my opinion. Again, I don't. We've been linked with certain players in the window so far, which are probably definitely high quality on the face of things. But I can understand if I think he's going to be fairly cheap because he's got 1 year left on his deal. He covers both fullback areas. If we get him and say a Calafiori, I mean, it's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't fill you with excitement, does it? With Kyle Walker-Peters returning to the club after 4 years.
Exactly, returning to the club. Spurs boy. It could be a fairy tale.
You know what? Harry Winks is going to be in the Championship Team of the Year this year. Why don't they get Harry Winks back?
Don't get me started on Harry Winks.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. If we want to be fighting for titles, if we want to be fighting up there with Arsenal and Man City, Kyle Walker-Peters is not that player that's going to, when players are out, you know, fill that void that we need. He's just not. But anyway, let's move on to Nico Williams. Atletico Bilbao forward Nico Williams is set to be at the centre of Premier League approaches this summer, with Tottenham keeping an eye on the Spanish international. Atletico Bilbao will not deviate from the release clause. However, he is on £200,000 a week at the moment, and Williams wants an increase of that to go to £300,000 a week at his next club. So that probably rules us out.
Yeah, I mean, considering our top highest earner is Son at around 200 grand a week, I don't think we're going to be looking to massively increase our highest earner and give it to Nico Williams, especially as we've done that before with new signings with Ndombele, and it's come back to bite us as well, giving them that kind of parity. So it's not in Tottenham's model to do that. He's very young. I don't think we want to, as soon as obviously we give him, obviously there's rumours of Son signing a new contract, but as soon if we do sign Williams and give him that money, obviously Son is going to want more than that. He's going to say, look, I'm a much more important member of the team. I should be getting much more than, you know, a new signing who's 21 years of age. So
there is talks of a Son new contract.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he signs a contract, he's going to want more than what Williams is on.
Yeah.
So if that is true about Williams, I just don't see Tottenham giving him that money. I do struggle to see who's going to give him that kind of fee. Like, as much as he's going to want it, I don't know, like a Barca going to give him that kind of 300 grand a week. I feel like that's a very, very high wage, usually reserved for some of the best players in Europe. So I don't know if it's wishful thinking, but maybe there is a club willing to give him that salary.
He's so young as well to be on that much money. Like, yeah, I know, like, he's got a high ceiling and he's got very high quality about him. But someone of that age who hasn't really done that much in the game yet, apart from show, you know, he's shown ability, but not like absolute world class ability as of yet. You know, he's going to get there, I believe, but I don't think he's there as of yet. I feel like 300 grand a week is just way too much, and there's probably other targets out there that can offer what Nico Williams offers for a fraction of that price.
I have to say, he's one of the best in terms of in the talent pool on the wing right now. You'll be hard pressed to find a better option than Nico Williams. So, I mean, I think there's a valid argument to say he might be worth the money. To be honest, in my opinion, I just don't think we'd ever give it to him.
But if you're on 300 grand a week now at 21, at the end of your next contract, he's going to want like 350, 400. I mean, where does it stop?
That's modern day football.
It's madness. Let's talk about potential outgoing. Emerson Royal, Gazzetta dello Sport saying Emerson Royal is the first name on the list for AC Milan for their right-back search. Contacts with agents have already begun to take place in recent weeks. However, Tottenham are asking for 30 million euros. We did hear just a few days ago that they were only going to ask for 20, but it's already increased by 10 million.
Yeah, that kind of... When we hear the word Milan, we think maybe you could put an extra 10 million. But in terms of the modern day finances of Serie A, I think that would be far fetched. They do usually like to sign kind of under the radar cheaper deals, I think, these Milan clubs. And to be fair, especially Inter Milan have been doing a great job with that. AC Milan, obviously, they've also been picking up quite kind of decent bargain deals from the Premier League. I think that's part of the model. You look at their front three, you had Giroud, Pulisic, you had Loftus-Cheek in midfield as well, Tomori from Chelsea. They do like to find these little market deals. So I don't see them paying 30 million. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but maybe they do pay somewhere near 20.
I feel like this is just...
it's an opening negotiator.
Yeah, but I also feel this is just like the press doing its magic once again. Every single year they link one of our players, if not more, to Milan. Every single year without fail, don't they?
Of course. But I do see him being good at Milan. I think it would be a good signing. I actually can understand. I can see him working there.
I see him fitting in well with Italian football. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think Milan as well. I think what they.
Who do they play at right back at the moment?
I can't remember off the top of my head. There's some young Italian guy, I think. Just no, I can't remember who they play at right back, but I think he could be a good fit for them.
Is it Florenzi or Terracciano? Yadley? Anyway, that is the news on Emerson Royale. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now let's talk about Ashley Phillips, as he was voted as Plymouth's Young Player of the Season this year. So a massive congratulations to Ashley Phillips. He has gone in there and obviously done a very good job. There is rumours, the director at Plymouth did say he wants to take Phillips and Devine back for another year next season. But if you are voted the Plymouth Player of the Year, surely the step is to be a next step up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic that he got that recognition, and the fact that he's gone out on loan in difficult circumstances as well as a young centre-back, and he's clearly been appreciated so much by the fans. They voted him Young Player of the Year. That goes to show the level of performance he plays. And the thing, if you think about it, he's playing in a team, right, of that are battling relegation near the bottom of the table. And he's a young centre-back. It's hard to stand out in that environment, especially when you're playing in a team that's leaking goals all the time. Fans, their first thought a lot of the time when you're seeing goals is to attack the defenders, right, and go after defenders. So the fact that they're battling relegation, they're in that position, and he's getting plaudits, and they can clearly see what good work he's doing. That is even more impressive for me, that he's standing out in that kind of element. So really, really impressive. We'll see what happens with him next season. Obviously, Plymouth do want him back, no surprise. But I'm hopefully, unless Plymouth are going to be much better next season, maybe challenging the top half, I would like him to go to a team maybe challenging the playoffs or something.
Yeah, I guess, you can probably liken it to when Ledley King, he was getting all the plaudits at centre-back when Spurs were leaking goals each week, not doing that well in the league, maybe in the early days anyway. And this season as well, Mickey van der Ven and Couto Romero have got so many plaudits from the fan base, haven't they? And we've been leaking goals every single week. So I guess you still can shine as a centre-back if you're struggling and the defensive structure isn't quite there yet. But definitely big up to Ashley Phillips for winning that award. And last but not least, Tottenham under-21 player Tyrese Hall has committed his long-term future to the club by penning a 5-year contract until 2029. This guy does have a big future ahead of him. Arsenal were after him. Chelsea were after him. He did decide to join Tottenham. He's 18 years of age, and at the beginning of the season, he was playing for the under-18s. Halfway through the year, he got the promotion to the under-21s, and apparently he is playing unbelievably well week in, week out at the age of 18. So he's a defensive midfielder. Could he be the future to our number 6 problems? Not in the near future anyway, but maybe in the future. The far future.
Who knows? You see look, this is what I sometimes criticise the club for. You look at I know Barcelona have La Masia and they're unbelievable talent, but when they feel like a player's ready, they just chuck him in. Look at Pedri and Gavi at 18 and 17. They're ready. You just chuck them in and see what they do. So I would like Tottenham to do that approach occasionally. I feel like we have too many barriers. We want to wait until we're 100% convinced before we even give them minutes, let alone a start or something like that. But really, really happy and excited about Tyrese Hall. I've heard quite a bit about him, and everyone seems very excited about him and his potential. So really happy he signed a long-term deal, and let's see what the future brings with him.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about the academy so much, but there's so many players being spoken about in such a positive way, but I think you kind of have to take that as well with a bit of, as well as being excited, but take it with a bit of pinch of salt as well. Because how many times, ever since we were young, talking about these academy players coming through being, oh, this one's smashing it, that one's smashing it, and they sometimes don't really amount to much. So as much as
the one we weren't convinced about turned out to be our highest ever goal scorer.
Exactly. I remember players like Lee Barnard and stuff like that,
Jamie Slabber.
He actually did play for the first team once, I think, against Liverpool, wasn't it? But we've heard about so many players being like, oh, these guys are the next big thing, and then they end up going to non-league football and stuff like that. I mean, Keziah Sterling was one of them as well,
Koulibaly.
So many.
Koulibaly, yeah.
So many, and very rarely they make it, specifically at Tottenham. So I agree with you. I do want to see them given a chance, but I think they need to be given a chance in the right circumstances. So not maybe thrown in straight away in the Premier League, but use them in the early rounds of the Cup, use them in the group stages of the Europa League next season. I'm not saying use all of them, but use them sparingly, fit in one there, and maybe there's a few sub-appearances as well.
Exactly.
But that is all we have for you today. That is your Tottenham update. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.